clumps, grit, beads, fruity pebbles, whatever the heck you want to call it, you get a solid beard product like a beard balm or a beard butter. And there are these little masses, these little solid things in the product that don't melt down quite as easily as the rest of it. I'm going to tell you in this video what that is, why it's not a bad thing, and something simple you can do to fix it if you would like. But first, quick introduction. My name is Dancy Bearded. If you guys could hit a thumbs up for me, just a gentle reminder. If you're not subscribed to this channel and you like learning about beards, it would mean the world to me if you considered it. And thank you to those returning subscribers out there. Super common is getting these solid beard products. You go to dig in for the first time, or maybe you received it perfect the first time, then later on down the road this forms, and you're like, oh man, what are these things I have to like chase around in my hand, and they get stuck between your fingers, and it can be a little bit of a nuisance and a little bit of an annoyance, especially if you don't know what it is. So it's pretty simple what it is. It is the butter that is breaking down into its different fatty acids, specifically the long chain fatty acids. Now, how this works, we will take a common butter ingredient, which is used in balms, which is used in butters, and we'll say shea butter. I would say that is the most common one out there. Why? Because it's fantastic for your beard hairs. Well, shea butter has 9 different fatty acids, and all 9 of those fatty acids are amazing for the hairs, but they have a different cooling point where they become solid. So what will happen is, whether it is in your hot bathroom, maybe your AC went out, or most commonly in a shipping truck, right? It gets dropped off at the post office or a private shipping company, gets put into these shipping container trucks that are really hot, and it melts down your solid product. Well, that's okay. That's not a problem whatsoever. But what happens is it's likely going to cool and solidify on its own at a very slow pace. Whether that's going from that hot truck to sitting on your porch, whether it's sitting in room temperature in your house, it is going to slowly become a solid. Well, those 9 fatty acids we talked about, they have those different solidification points or cooling points, and they're all very different. I mean, within the realm of being possible to be the same ingredient, but they're different. And if it cools slowly, you're going to have one of those fatty acids solidify and group up. And then you're going to have another one solidify and group up elsewhere. And those like fatty acids are going to start to form that grit, those pebbles, that bead, whatever you want to call it. Those are the different components of the butter that are just coming together. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. You likely will be able to scoop it out and melt it down pretty easily. Worst case scenario, like I said, you're chasing those little ones off into your finger. Not a big deal. This is not harmful. Does not change the quality, does not change the effectiveness. It's just a reality of shea butter. Now, companies work very hard to try and prevent this out of convenience, and this can be done by going to a little bit more refined shea butter. This can be done by changing their cooling process. This can be done by changing the packaging in which it gets shipped to you. There's a lot of different ways and a lot of expensive methods to try and figure this out, but if you have one and you're like, I don't like this, and this wasn't my best example, I just wanted to find one that could kind of demonstrate it. If I can find a picture, I'll put it up as well, but most of you know what I'm talking about. Most of you, even if you didn't realize it, a light bulb went off watching this video and you're like, oh, I had that, oh my gosh. Or some of you are like, yeah, I knew this, man. It's so annoying, but you're right. How do you fix it? Very simple. Melt down the product and then cool it very rapidly. How can you do this? You can scoop the product out of the container, melt it down into a glass container like a Pyrex in the microwave, or if you have a candle melter, right, candle warmer, that can do the job as well. Put it back into the original container when it's a liquid, let it cool in the freezer with the lid off, and then it's going to be as smooth as butter. Yes, pun intended there. It will be very, very smooth. The fridge would work as well, but the key is getting it cooling as quickly as possible. If it gets very cold, those different ranges of solidification and those different cooling points don't have a chance to matter because they all get cold right away. So melt it down and then cool it very quickly. Now, some containers, you don't need to be able to take it out, right? You can have a plastic container, make sure there's no metal foil on the label, because that can become a problem. You can put it in the microwave, do small increments of like 10 seconds, stir it, 10 seconds, stir it, throw it into the freezer. But if you want to be safe, scoop it out, melt it down, pour it back in, and you're gonna have it good and golden. So, comments, help us out down below, you guys. Have you experienced this? Have you fixed this? Is it something that is like a huge pet peeve of yours? Or is it like, not a big deal. I just melted down in my hand. No worries. Did you learn something? Maybe the fatty acid profile of their cooling solidification points was something new to you. I would love to hear all of your thoughts, and especially if you have any questions, I'd be happy to help out. Thank you guys for watching today. If you know someone that this could help, please share the video. My name is Dan C. Bearded. Stay bearded and stay positive.